Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 130 based on novel. So let's start. The devil soul that came out from the large man stared at the ancient demon formed from Wang Lin's blood. It then let out a sharp screech that was filled with penetrating power. The devil soul suddenly sank back into the large man and the large eyes revealed an unprecedented amount of devilish flames. He then took a step forward and a giant illusion of the devil's soul appeared behind him. The eyes of the ancient demon formed from Wang Lin's blood lit up. He casually waved his hand and a demonic fog suddenly appeared. The demonic fog wrapped around the large man and charged into the sky. At the same time, a screen of demonic spiritual energy came down from the sky and covered the entire Sky Demon City. The ancient demon and devil started a great battle in the fog in the sky. Bursts of rumbling sounds came from the sky. Sometimes devilish flames filled the sky, and sometimes demonic spiritual energy swept the area. Wang Lin sat on the ground in the lotus position. His eyes were looking at the sky while he cultivated. It was as if his eyes could penetrate the fog in the sky and directly see the fighting happening inside. This scene caused Wang Lin's heart to tremble. The attacks of the ancient demon and the shattered devil held enough power to split the world in half. All of these spells caused the memories of ancient god Tu Sai that had been buried deep in Wang Lin's mind to surface once more. Wang Lin's eyes became brighter and brighter. As he continued to watch, he completely gave up on cultivating. Instead, his hand subconsciously formed seal after seal of various spells from ancient god Tu Sai's memories. Although he formed these seals, they had no attack power behind them. However, at this moment, through the mysterious connection to his origin soul, an oppressive power erupted on a small planet countless kilometers away from the East Demon Spirit Sea outside of the Demon Spirit Land. The original body with a head full of red hair suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes looked like they contained the entire sky within them. At the moment his eyes opened, his hand began to move, forming various seals. The original body's red hair flowed and the stars between his eyebrows flickered. As his hand continued to change, the stars began to flicker even more frequently. Then his hands suddenly extended to both sides and he said, "Absorb." With one word, the small planet he was on began to tremble. Strands of spiritual energy moved toward the depths of the planet and were absorbed by the original body. At the same time, Wang Lin also did the same motion in the Demon Spirit Land. He stared at the thick fog in the sky and slowly revealed a smile. The battle between the ancient demon and the shattered devil allowed me to understand some ancient god spells. The benefits the original body obtained can't be estimated. This battle lasted for 3 days. The blood Wang Lin lost had already been replenished, as celestial spiritual energy cycled his body and stimulated his bone marrow to create more blood. As the celestial spiritual energy cycled through his body, he reached his peak. While calmly looking at the sky, his right hand formed a seal and he pointed upwards. The underworld river suddenly appeared around him. Countless broken limbs could be seen inside the river, and there was a constant wailing coming from it. Shattered devil. Although I, Wang Lin, am weak, I am not someone you can casually kill. Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and the 1 billion soul flag appeared in his hand. He tossed it into the underworld river. When the 1 billion soul flag entered the underworld river, the 100 million soul fragments came out. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and took out the restriction flag. This flag was damaged back when he used it against the divine retribution, and a lot of the restrictions inside it were broken. Although there weren't many restrictions left, Wang Lin still threw it into the underworld river. After that, it was the celestial sword. Although Shu Ligua was extremely unwilling, he didn't dare to refuse Wang Lin right now. He could only endlessly sigh in his heart and think, forget it. We have already returned to Sky Demon City. That little beauty has been waiting for me for 10 years, I wonder if she was faithful. As he thought about this, he was thrown into the underworld river by Wang Lin. Following him was the half-moon blade. Then it was the soul lasher, sword sheaths, and Mo Yang's sword. In the end, aside from the war chariot and the mysterious painting, Wang Lin threw almost all of the treasures he had into the underworld river. The countless treasures inside the underworld river formed a very chaotic but very powerful force. Then Wang Lin took a deep breath and pressed his finger between his eyebrows. The 130,000 strands of slaughter energy turned into 130,000 life seals that protected him. His eyes were still locked on to the sky. At this moment, his eyes narrowed and he flew into sky without any hesitation. His hand extended toward the ground and the underworld river flew into the air and condensed into a yellow light. Not only did it carry all of Wang Lin's treasures, it also contained his Tao. Carrying the yellow light, Wang Lin charged out. At this moment, in the thick fog in the sky, many parts of the armor of the large man had broken off. He had been forced to retreat many times and the devilish flame in his eyes had weakened, but he continued to release crazy roars. The eyes of the ancient demon formed from Wang Lin's blood lit up. He charged out and continued to use one spell after another. The large man coughed out blood and was forced to retreat once more. "Accept your death." The ancient demon let out a shout before the illusion of himself went inside the blood body. He then turned into a ray of demonic light and surrounded the large man's entire body. Being surrounded by the demonic light caused the devil's soul to reappear between the large man's eyebrows. The devil let out a sharp screech and a sound wave spread out. Under the effect of the sound wave, the demonic light paused for a moment. Then the devil's soul gave the ancient demon a vicious look and returned back into the large man. At the same time, the large man backed up to escape. Wang Lin was waiting for this moment. He charged into the sky like a meteor. The yellow light in his hand shined, and in the blink of an eye, he charged into the thick fog. He charged straight at the large man who was attempting to leave the attack range of the ancient demon. As he retreated, the large man noticed Wang Lin's approach. There was a hint of contempt in his eyes, as he didn't consider Wang Lin worthy of his attention at all. He casually waved his right hand at Wang Lin as he backed up. A gust of wind was created from his hand and then the 130,000 life seals around Wang Lin's body began to collapse. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 80,000. As the life seals collapsed, Wang Lin's eyes became cold. He forced himself forward and arrived before the large man just as all 130,000 life seals collapsed. Then Wang Lin threw the yellow light in his hand without any hesitation. The large man let out a cold snort. Then his right hand formed a fist and punched at the yellow light. He wanted to shatter this yellow light. However, at the moment his right hand collided with the yellow light, his expression changed greatly. There were too many different auras inside the yellow light, and all of them were merged by force by a strand of divine sense and Tao. It somehow actually formed a force that could threaten him. If everything was normal, perhaps it wouldn't really threaten him. However, even though he was already injured, he had just started a great battle with the ancient demon only to suffer more injuries. Also, after losing the Devil Tower, his divine sense was trapped inside the armor. He was unable to spread out his divine sense and thus he couldn't use a lot of his spells. The yellow light's power surged out and the large man involuntarily stopped for a moment. The price of this pause was the demonic light formed by the ancient demon caught up and completely engulfed him. This demonic light was an extremely powerful spell of the ancient demons that could refine all living things in the world. The large man let out a miserable groan and began to release a large amount of devilish energy. This devilish energy was immediately refined, leaving not a single trace of it behind. The devil came out from the large man's eyebrows and shouted, "Bei Luo, if you kill me, Master will definitely not forgive you for this." He also came out completely before turning into a ray of light and entering the armor. Right after he did so, the armor left the large man's body. The armor was surrounded by a monstrous amount of devilish energy and was about to charge out of the demonic light. Abandon the mount to save the general was the thought in the devil soul's mind right now. Although he would lose the body, as long as the armor wasn't lost, he could recover one day. At most he would just have to find another body. Also, without the body, the devil soul believed he would be able to escape with his spells. After the large man lost the armor, his entire body began to erode under the demonic light. Then his eyes dimmed and he fell from the sky. The armor spent almost all of its devilish energy to escape from the demonic light. The devil was very happy. As long as he could get out of the demonic light, he could use a spell to quickly leave. However, just as he became happy, that happiness disappeared. Wang Lin's right hand moved like lightning and grabbed the armor right as it charged out. Wang Lin would do whatever it took to get things done. After all the planning he did, how could he let this so-called shattered devil escape at the last moment? If the devil escaped today, he would forever have to face the devil's crazed revenge in the future unless he hid inside Sky Demon City forever. Also, Wang Lin believed that the ancient demon would definitely help him at the last moment. Otherwise, the ancient demon would not have appeared at all. With Wang Lin's cunning, he was easily able to see through all of this. At the moment his right hand grabbed the armor, Wang Lin already expected the devil's soul to enter his body, so he activated the remaining celestial ascension fruit inside his origin soul. Wang Lin's eyes suddenly turned blood red and his entire body entered a state of extreme madness. "You won't be able to escape." As Wang Lin shouted, he suddenly pulled his right hand back, dragging the armor back with it. The devil's soul appeared from the armor and viciously stared at Wang Lin. The devil's soul let out a roar before charging into Wang Lin's palm and rushing toward Wang Lin's origin soul. At the same time, the armor turned into black strands. It wrapped itself around Wang Lin and then turned back into armor. Wang Lin was now wearing a set of black armor, his eyes were blood red, and his hair moved without any wind. Inside his body, his origin soul had reached its peak with the help of the celestial ascension fruit. He began a battle with the devil's soul that had lost most of its devilish energy. The demonic light dissipated and turned back into the ancient demon's blood shadow. He looked at Wang Lin with admiration in his eyes and smiled. What a good strategy, to stimulate the origin soul to help resist against the devil soul. If I help you, then I will have done as you planned, but if I don't help you, then the battle earlier will end up being pointless. You calculated that I would definitely help you. Good, this is your fortune, so I'll help you. As the ancient demon spoke, he grabbed Wang Lin. He also grabbed the large man whose body was eroding but hadn't died yet. Then the ancient demon turned into a ray of light and charged toward the dragon lake outside of Sky Demon City. Outside of rank 7 cultivation planet Tianyun. Bloodstar. A woman wearing purple was riding a 3-foot-long sword as she quickly flew across the vastness of space. There were 3 women wearing colorful robes chasing after her. One of the women chasing the woman in purple sneered. "Wretch, you betrayed the heavenly water sect and stole the junior sect master's holy treasure. Do you really think you can escape? Even if this place is under the influence of planet Tianyun, my 5-element planet is also a rank 7 cultivation planet. You won't be able to run away." The purple-robed woman clenched her teeth and her face was extremely pale. The purple veil she was previously wearing had already fallen off. "You have GU poison in your body. I want to see how much farther you can escape." The woman in purple revealed a bitter expression. The GU poison in her body had already activated and had been forcibly suppressing her the entire way. Originally, she could have escaped, but she didn't expect her sister to betray her and lure the enemy to her. Right now she was like a lamp without any oil. She could no longer suppress the GU poison in her body and coughed out a large mouthful of blood. Her face became pale and the large sword under her swayed slightly. She let out a bitter smile as she controlled the sword under her to charge straight toward a blood-red planet. The 3 women behind her let out cold snorts and sped up their chase. The woman in purple closed in on the blood-red planet and broke through the atmosphere. When she closed in on the surface, she immediately saw a blood-red pavilion. A man walked out from the pavilion. He had red hair and red eyebrows and was wearing a red robe. As he stood there, although there wasn't a trace of celestial spiritual energy on him, he gave off a suffocating sense of majesty. He coldly looked at the purple-robed woman and the 3 women chasing her. He frowned and calmly said, "Scram." The 3 women's expressions changed slightly. One of them quickly said, "The heavenly water sect of 5-element planet is attempting to capture a traitor. I hope Senior won't intervene." A flash of coldness appeared in the man's eyes. He then waved his large sleeves, causing a gust of wind to blow the 3 women out of the blood-red planet. "What is your name?" "Zi Xin. Junior's name is Zi Xin." A cultivator from the rank 6 cultivation planet Suzaku. The purple-robed woman stared at the person before her. This person was able to send the people chasing her away with a single wave of his sleeves. This kind of cultivator was simply too terrifying. Planet Suzaku. Country of Chu, the Cloud Sky Sect. The Cloud Sky Sect was completely different from before. The country of Chu was raised to a rank 4 cultivation country by the current Suzaku, Ju Wutai. Although it was only rank 4, its sphere of influence was the largest among the rank 4 cultivation countries. Even all of the rank 5 cultivation countries had to be respectful when they were in Chu, especially when facing the Cloud Sky Sect. This was because almost everyone who experienced those few hundred years of events all knew of a cultivator named Wang Lin. That person single-handedly set out a huge, never-before-seen wave on planet Suzaku. After the Cloud Sky Sect became a rank 4 country, they tore down their sect. Then, with the help of the entire country, they built a giant statue out of high-quality spirit stones. This statue was that of a man wearing black. His eyes revealed a pondering expression. Although he wasn't handsome, he gave off an out-of-this-world feeling. His right hand formed a seal as if he was wondering. The statue emitted a terrifying majesty that enveloped the surrounding area. This was the location of the Cloud Sky Sect. It was also something that the countless Cloud Sky Sect disciples worshipped. It was also something that all cultivators in Chu respected. It was also a legend for planet Suzaku. There was currently one old person and one young person walking up the stairs to the Cloud Sky Sect. At their current position, they could clearly see the towering statue. The teenager's face was filled with curiosity as he asked, "Grandpa, is this the statue you were talking about?" The old man looked at the statue and revealed a trace of reminiscence. After a long time, he rubbed the child's head and said, "Do you know why the head of the Cloud Sky Sect was able to reach the soul formation stage? Why all of the sects in Chu consider the Cloud Sky Sect as their ruler? Why all those experts from rank 5 cultivation countries must be so respectful when they are here? All of it is because of this statue." The youth seemed startled before blinking and smiling. "That is strange. How can a statue make everyone so respectful?" The old man sighed and said, "Although the person the statue is based on only cultivated here for a short period of time, during those few hundred years, he set off a never-before-seen storm on planet Suzaku. There were some things that only spread after he left. Rumor has it that when he had only cultivated for 200 years, he managed to create a complete mess in the Sea of Devils. He saved a beautiful woman and completely shocked the entire Cloud Sky Sect. He slaughtered his way through Zhao, creating rivers of blood. The entire Ting family was slaughtered, and the entire country became a graveyard. Rumor has it that he went into the celestial realm and cut off Red Butterfly's arm. He defeated Liu Mai, battled Chen Feng, and accepted the soul refining sect's Du Tine as his master. He destroyed Shui Yu, killed the giant demon clan ancestor, and became famous during the battle against the Forsaken Immortal clan. He obtained the Suzaku crystal inside the Suzaku tomb. After defeating many others, he was the first to obtain the Suzaku crystal. He could have obtained the title of Suzaku, but he refused it and gave it to the current Suzaku, Ju Wutai. The youth exclaimed, "He actually refused the title of Suzaku. Why else do you think the current Suzaku, Ju Wutai, also comes and silently gazes at this statue every time a big event happens?" On planet Suzaku, before that person was born, the Holy Land was Mount Suzaku. Now the Holy Land is this Cloud Sky Sect. The youth's mouth was wide open. He had heard about all of this before, but it was never as detailed as today. His heart beat faster and his little face was filled with excitement as he said, "Grandpa, I want to be like him in the future." "What is his name? Where did he go?" "His name is Wang Lin. I also don't know where he went. But no matter where he goes, such a person won't be ordinary." The old man sighed and bitterly smiled. "Your grandpa once had dealings with him, but I'm afraid he has long forgotten who I am." The youth was about to speak in excitement when the roar of a tiger suddenly came from below the mountain. This tiger's roar was filled with majesty and caused the trees to shake. At the same time, a large, black-striped tiger jumped up from the bottom of the mountain toward the top. There was a woman sitting on the back of the tiger. She was about 20 years old and was wearing white. Her clothes moved with the wind and she looked like a celestial. This woman's appearance was not the most beautiful, but she looked very delicate with her pink skin. Her beautiful eyes showed her intelligence. Little White, faster. The woman's voice was like a yellow oriole, very alluring. The tiger she was sitting on let out another roar and charged directly at the Cloud Sky sect. When they reached the top of the mountain, the tiger landed beside the statue. The tiger's eyes turned to look at the statue. Then his eyes filled with disdain and he thought, this little girl is too silly. Why must she try to find this person? It is much better to stay on planet Suzaku. This Tiger Lord has so many tigresses, if we have to leave in the future, how can I bear to separate from them all? However, this little girl once said that there are more beautiful tigresses outside of planet Suzaku. This makes it somewhat difficult for this Tiger Lord. The woman stared at the statue and softly said, Uncle, little Rur has already reached the core formation stage. Very fast, right? I'm very diligent. Grandpa Tai Yang said that once I reach the nascent soul stage, he will give me the bag you left for me. Uncle, I'll definitely be able to reach the nascent soul stage. A soft sigh appeared from the void and then a tall old man walked out from the Cloud Sky sect. He was wearing a daoist robe that gave him a sense of majesty. He arrived next to the statue. First he bowed to the statue and then looked at the woman and tiger. His eyes were filled with kindness and love as he said, Rur, you must follow your heart. If you force yourself to pursue the nascent soul stage, then you will walk down the wrong path and will be walking against the flow. The woman looked at the statue and softly said, Grandpa Tai Yang, back then, when Uncle left Zhao and went into the Sea of Devils, wasn't he also dead set on reaching the nascent soul stage? Thus, following one's heart isn't always the right advice. This old man was Tai Yang. After Wang Lin gave him some pointers, he was able to break through the nascent soul stage and reach the soul formation stage. Aside from being grateful, he felt even more respect for Wang Lin. He never touched the bag Wang Lin left behind, he didn't dare to. He couldn't forget Wang Lin's calm gaze before Wang Lin left. Zhu Yu withdrew her gaze and looked at Tai Yang. She revealed a smile that was like a lily blooming and said, Grandpa Tai Yang, on the way here, I met the current Suzaku, Uncle Zhu. He wanted me to go cultivate at Mount Suzaku. He said that my cultivation will be faster there, so Rur is here to say goodbye to you today. Tai Yang understood that Zhu Yu's status on planet Suzaku was extremely special. It could be said that she was the little princess of planet Suzaku. Almost everyone who met Wang Lin before was extremely courteous toward her, whether it was due to fear or respect toward Wang Lin. Even the Forsaken Immortal clan was extremely polite to Zhu Yu. Normally, the Forsaken Immortal clan wouldn't allow any cultivator to enter their territory, but Zhu Yu was one of the few exceptions. It could be said that Zhu Yu would not meet any danger on planet Suzaku. Also, Zhu Wutai, the Forsaken Immortal clan's Yunqzi, and many other people with high cultivation levels all gifted her life-saving treasures. If any average cultivators really wanted to fight this little core formation girl, they might not be able to win. In addition, there were experts sent by Mount Suzaku and the giant demon clan's patriarch, Kai-Hu, following her. They were ready to protect her at any moment, so she wouldn't face any danger. Among the people protecting her, there were also people from the Cloud Sky sect. After pondering a bit, Tai Yang nodded and kindly said, Okay, you cultivate well at Mount Suzaku. If you really reach the nascent soul stage one day, I'll immediately give you the things benefactor left behind for you. Zhu Yu smiled before turning around and looking meaningfully at the statue. She then slapped the tiger's head and said, Little White, let's go to Mount Suzaku. Little White let out a roar before jumping into the air and disappearing over the horizon. It has to be said that this Tiger Lord was able to borrow that Wang Lin's might a lot in these years. Those cultivators that would normally want to catch me before are now all extremely respectful when they see me. Forget it, for the sake of this little girl, if she wants to leave planet Suzaku, this Tiger Lord will just have to follow her. As Little White flew in the air, drool flew out the corner of his mouth. God knows if that was the real reason he made up his mind or if it was because of the tigresses from other planets that Zhu Yu talked about. In the Dragon Lake outside of Sky Demon City, there was a large number of demon soldiers guarding the Dragon Lake year-round. There were also many hidden experts of the capital that spent their time cultivating here. No matter how big of an event happened, unless it was targeting the Dragon Lake, they wouldn't appear. Thanks to the powerful demonic spiritual energy here, even the divine retribution 10 years ago didn't cause any damage here. The water in the Dragon Lake was filled with demonic spiritual energy. There was another world at the bottom of the lake. A screen of demonic spiritual energy blocked the path to the underground cave. There was a statue in the underground cave. This statue was completely black and looked exactly like the ancient demon. Right now there was a demonic glow coming from the statue's eyes. There was another pond below the statue. This pond didn't have much liquid, but the liquid had become very sticky. Wang Lin was currently sitting in the lotus position inside this pond. He was still wearing the armor, but his eyes were closed. The large man that looked like Ling Tianhu was sitting in front of Wang Lin. He was completely encased in a purple crystal, and the erosion on his body was slowly healing. Strands of demonic light came out from the statue and entered Wang Lin's body. Every time the demonic light entered Wang Lin's body, he trembled. The devil inside his origin soul had already been suppressed with the help of the ancient demon. The devil was currently in a coma, but Wang Lin's goal wasn't just to suppress but to devour. He was going to devour this scattered devil to help improve his own cultivation. However, this scattered devil was simply too large and was not something he could easily devour. Wang Lin had been sitting in this pool for several months as he slowly devoured the devil, but he still hadn't managed to completely devour it. Although this was the case, Wang Lin continued to create countless restrictions and placed them on the devil. After these few months, countless restrictions had been placed on the devil. Also, with the help of the ancient demon, Wang Lin was able to leave an imprint in the scattered devil's soul. However, the scattered devil was simply too powerful, so the imprint was very weak. Only with the passage of time could Wang Lin continue to carve the imprint on the devil until he could completely control it. On this day Wang Lin opened his eyes. There was a flash of devilish light in his eyes. I'm unable to devour this devil with my current cultivation. I can only continue to engrave the imprint on the devil's soul, and one day I'll eventually be able to control it. When that time comes, rather than devouring this devil, another option is to refine it into my second origin soul. The second origin soul is a unique spell that cultivators can use once they reach the ascendant stage. However, this is not a spell that everyone can successfully use. The main reason is the embryo used for the second origin soul. The strength of the embryo determines the success rate of the creation of a second origin soul. Once a cultivator fails to create a second origin soul, they are hit with a powerful backlash. Also, a second origin soul causes the cultivator to suffer heavy losses, which is why most ascendant cultivators choose not to refine a second origin soul. None of the ascendant cultivators Wang Lin had met so far had a second origin soul, and very few of the cultivators above ascendant that he had met had one. Wang Lin thought, this is one of the scattered devils of an ancient devil. There is almost no other embryo more fitting for creating a second origin soul. I'm 100% confident I can successfully create a second origin soul with this. Right now my origin soul and body have completely merged, solidifying my ascendant cultivation. Now that there is no longer any danger, there are some things I must immediately do. I must obtain the remaining pieces of sword energy Ling Tianhu made. It is simply a waste for them to be in the hands of his trash disciples. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he stood up inside the pond. The armor on his body made him look like a demon general, and paired with his long, flowing black hair, it gave him a demonic feel. After touching the armor, there was a trace of excitement in Wang Lin's eyes. This set of armor was very powerful. There was a thick layer of devilish energy coming out from the armor. However, it was a pity that Wang Lin couldn't absorb it. Although this is the case, if I use the demonic finger with this armor, then I'm afraid it will be even more powerful than my underworld river. My cultivation level isn't high enough to make this armor acknowledge me as its master, so I can only use some of its abilities. However, once I refine the scattered devil into my second origin soul, I will be able to use the full power of this armor. Wang Lin touched the armor before taking out a bracelet from his bag of holding. The moment this bracelet appeared, it turned into a ray of black light that wrapped around Wang Lin's arm and took form. "Are you going to leave?" The ancient demon's voice came from the statue. Wang Lin turned around. He clasped his hands at the statue and said, "Senior ancient demon has helped me 3 times now. I will remember this in my heart. This time I'm going to fulfill the agreement from before. However, before this, there are a few matters I need to take care of, and I require senior ancient demon's help." The ancient demon pondered a bit before slowly asking, "What matters?" Wang Lin pondered a bit before slapping his bag of holding. He took out the pagoda Juyi gave him back then. "I want to find a sword spirit. This tower has his divine sense. I request senior ancient demon's help to find it." The ancient demon spread out his divine sense and said, "There is no presence of this sword spirit in my sky demon country. As for other places, I have no idea. The demon spirit land is simply too big for me to search. If you can help me take one of the ancient demons, I will be able to cast a wide-range search spell after I absorb it. Right now it is impossible for me to do it with my current strength. If you have an ancient devil tower, you can spread out your divine sense as well." Wang Lin withdrew the pagoda and nodded. Then he pointed at the large man surrounded by purple crystal and said, "I want this person." The ancient demon pondered for much longer this time and then said, "I'll give him to you, but you must retrieve an ancient demon for me within 100 years. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he nodded. "I want to enter the ancient demon inheritance and comprehend that mysterious realm, using it to refine my spells. This matter isn't difficult, but I have already helped you many times and fulfilled my promise to you. You, on the other hand, haven't done anything yet, so we can talk about this once you have retrieved an ancient demon." Wang Lin faintly smiled. "Fine, but it will be difficult for me to do this with just one person. From today onward, you are my messenger. Your identity is now above the demon emperor's. My sky demon country will officially begin war with the fire demon country as a way to help you. Once you have reached the demonic spring in the capital of the fire demon country, don't forget the chant I gave you." Wang Lin clasped his hands and reached toward the large man surrounded by purple crystals. He then took a step and directly left the Dragon Lake. In an instant he disappeared without a trace. The reason he asked the ancient demon to look for Juyi and allow him to go into the inheritance was because the ancient demon had already done a lot for him. If he were to act like he had no more wishes to fulfill, the ancient demon might suspect his sincerity. These 2 requests were indeed things he wanted the ancient demon to help with and were not just things he had used to stall the ancient demon. This way, the ancient demon would have more patience. Wang Lin appeared from the void 5,000 kilometers from Sky Demon City. He looked at the crystal in his hand before putting it inside his bag of holding. This person must have some relation with Sword Saint Ling Tianhu. There might be some use for him in the future. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a pondering expression. He then stepped out once more and used the greater teleportation spell. Wang Lin continued to teleport. His target was where Zishu died. He was unwilling to give it up so easily, so he had to check. After all, Ling Tianhu's sword energy was simply too precious. The greater teleportation spell was a powerful spell. After casting it several times, Wang Lin entered the fire demon country. Zishu had died in a jungle, and most of the plants here had withered. There was debris and rotting corpses all over the place. After all, it had already been several months. However, Zishu's corpse was still here. There was a faint, golden glow coming from his corpse, and there were countless animals and birds around him. At first they came here to feast on the corpses, but as soon as they came close to Zishu's corpse, they instantly died. On this day, a ray of blue light came from the distance. It was a middle-aged man who wore a blue robe. After he spread out his divine sense, he found Zishu's corpse on the ground. Then he immediately descended and arrived 100 feet from Zishu's corpse. This is the place. Just as I expected, this person must have a treasure on his body, or else there would be no way for this kind of sword energy to be released. The middle-aged man's eyes were filled with joy as he stared at Zishu's corpse. Zishu died at a very remote location. Unless one looked carefully, It would be very difficult to find this corpse. This middle-aged man's cultivation method allowed him to take over birds and beasts. Although his divine sense wasn't powerful, when he was cultivating, the bird he possessed found this corpse. This person was startled and immediately noticed that something was off, so he quickly came looking for the corpse. He looked at Zishu's body and took a deep breath. Then he slapped his bag of holding and a large number of black beetles came out. They immediately flew toward the corpse. However, when these black beetle came within 100 feet of the corpse, the body immediately emitted bursts of golden light. After the flashes of golden light, all of the black beetles were exterminated. The middle-aged man wasn't shocked and in fact was happy. He looked at Zishu's body and muttered, "There must be a treasure here." He took a deep breath, but just as he was about to continue casting spells, a cold snort came from behind him. The man was shocked. He suddenly jerked around and waved his right hand. A large number of black clouds flew out from his sleeves. These clouds were actually countless rice-sized insects. Then the black cloud pounced at the person behind him. Using this opportunity, the man backed up a few steps and took a look, but then he immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. There was a person wearing black armor standing there, and he was surrounded by waves of monstrous devilish energy. Those insects that he threw out immediately died after getting close to this person. The middle-aged man's expression changed and he took a few steps back. Then he clasped his hands and asked, "Why is this friend preventing me from retrieving my junior apprentice brother's body?" "Your junior apprentice brother?" The person in armor was Wang Lin. After he arrived via teleportation, he saw this person filled with joy while looking at Zishu's body. "Of course he is my junior apprentice brother. We are disciples of the He-Yun sect. This person is called Ju Chu, and my name is Tong Yun. The two of us came to the demon spirit land together. 1 month ago junior apprentice brother Ju and I separated. I didn't think that he would be killed. If it wasn't for the fact that junior apprentice brother carried a tracking object from the sect that releases a golden glow, I would not have been able to find him today." Tong Yun had a sad expression, and his demeanor revealed sadness. This video will end here.